Wade things was gonna last, and it did not last long. But I was also stuck with Wade for about an hour, and he was stuck with me for about an hour because we were waiting for the failed audio to upload so I can download it for the dice reaction.
Oof. Where in the fuck?
Now, I hope to God the stream doesn't crash again like it did for Wade's thing.
That's the right one, right?
Quack, 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 quack.
What the fuck do you mean that's not a... What? What? What the fuck do you mean? That's literally my only fucking password. Somebody hack my fucking Roll20?
It's either that or you're mistyping something.
Wait a minute. Why is that my password for Roll20 or her password for Roll20? Huh. Well, that one wasn't mine. Okay. Cool to know.
Oh, that's not great.
That didn't make me sit there and waste fucking 20 minutes trying to understand why the fuck I can't log in. Oh. What's that? Okay. Jeez, it got louder. Fucking stingers, man.
You see our new logo?
Yeah. I like it. Oh, right, I need Audacity opened.
This is not even the complete logo, and that's mainly because we haven't finished the solo campaigns yet.
This is true. Okay, this should be that, and this should be that. Okay. Ow. Pull that there, pull that there. Okay, start my recording. There we go.
Can you believe that this thing by itself took me an hour to do?
That would take me at least probably 3 to 4.
The
You remember how long it fucking took me to even try to get a fucking thing that looks like a D20? It literally took me over a fucking day of sitting there and fucking it up, and it's just like, it's only supposed to be like this.
And by the end of it, it was still fucked up.
Yep.
Alright, hit the record button now. Eh. Don't even know what I just did there.
Oh, doing some vocal exercises there?
Oh. Why did that come out? Make up your mind, microphone. Are you gonna capture me quietly or loud? I hate it. Do I have to eat you?
You sound like me when I can hear myself trying to test audio, and eventually I just go "Ah," and stop because I'm like, I need to stop hearing myself.
Didn't work out the way I wanted to. Okay, you recording now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So on 3. 1, 2, 3. Sync.
Sync.
1, 2, 3. Sync.
Sync.
1, 2, 3. Sync.
Sync.
Okay. I'm gonna see how far apart we are on the thing. Because Wade was even more delayed than he usually is today. I'm not sure if that was because of me or because of his satellite internet.
I don't know why the fuck he has satellite internet.
Grandparents changed it because probably it's cheaper. They also don't have a lot of
shittier.
because like weather can just fuck you up. And the Sunday, if we ever do anything on Sunday or Monday, it's gonna be even worse because guess what? It's snowing that weekend.
Rip.
Went from like nice warm spring weather for like 2 days, and then it transformed into, oh my god, why the fuck is it freezing now?
It went to my allergies to my allergies.
Okay. Oops. Well, there goes the paperclip. Whatever. I am not ready for this 8 pages of fucking bullshit that I wrote. You guess how long Wade's thing was, even though we never got to it?
6 pages.
1.
1 page?
Literally, because his is the simplest out of all 3 of your guys's. Omni has a whopping 50. And we're gonna go through like 6.
Jesus Christ.
The rest of it is just his fucking kingdom. He just gave me this idea, literally just one paragraph of shit, and that evolved into me creating an entire sub-race of elves. On top of another sub-race of elves. Who hate another sub-race of elves. And then created a new variant of drow. That don't exist from the Underdark, but exist from the Underbrush. Because literally they exist underneath a gigantic tree that covers the entire area in shade, and no sunlight comes through because the forest is just thick with brush and nothing can get through, like no light. So drow evolved there. Yeah. That's how like Omni's thing is gonna go, and he's either gonna enjoy it or he's going to hate me for including so many fucking complicated Elvish / Irish names. Okay. Where are we? What's this?
I thought a car was driving by for a minute because it was like quiet, and I'm like, who the fuck? Really? Right now? And then it got louder. I'm like, huh?
Okay. We're coming back to you at school, and that is not the right type of music for that shit.
It's Bendy's.
I also just realized. I just realized that all of this, everything that all the 50 songs that I put in here are just nothing but horror shit.
Horror with stingers.
There's only 2 that had stingers, at least I think.
Till you listen to them again.
Okay. Let's. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your DM Zeke Gilroy, and I am joined here today by Big Evil 103. Say hi, Big Evil.
Hello.
You've become sheeple now. So, last time, please take it away, Big Evil. What did we do last time?
Which last time? Are we talking about initial first thing or last week last time?
I'll leave it up to you.
Well, last week last time, because that's a lot less I have to remember. Woke up to... Oh god, I need my journal so I know my fucking names. Oh god, where the I never fixed how I had all of my notes. Good. I woke up in the McGowan household to find Marisali after stumbling towards the house and then eating all of the food because hungry boy. Started noticing the weird cards that seemed to start pointing me in where I should be going in the right direction, seemingly. And hold up, because now I have to burp, but I didn't put that in the recording. All right.
As far as you know.
I hit my mute button.
Again, as far as you know.
I muted the microphone itself. After the whole ordeal with figuring that out, we went to go to the mayor's office to see what they were going to pretty much do with me, which I then saw everybody, like, seen the village, seen how it is mostly dwarves. There are some humans. There was specifically a small girl with a purple coat that looked kind of human, and then there was a small, sad dwarven boy by himself. I remember those specifically. Oh, and the... okay, that one's in the recording. The man with the blue house that fucking apparently consistently blows up his fucking house, who's supposedly a magic expert, but is only really good with rune enchanting. He tries with potions, but they don't seem to turn out well.
Specifically, he mixes random potions to see if he can get a decent effect on them, and they explode.
Yep. Sounds about right. Which eventually, after seeing that, we got to the civic town hall, right?
Went to the mayor's office.
Mayor's office. To then meet and see Marisali's husband, Owen, who is a blacksmith by trade, and talking with the mayor, who apparently is just named Mayor. After discussion of then what was to be done with our little boy Calder, he was asked if he wanted to try to go back home, go to the big city, or stay with the McGowans. Based on everything that has happened so far, he chose to stay with the McGowans. After a couple of days of just doing chores around the house and helping, Calder has kind of seen a little spark of wanting to maybe become a blacksmith eventually. After watching Owen and seeing how much more I guess actually to having what would be some sort of a father figure in his life for really the first set of time, and somebody who seems actually fucking happy instead of how his mother was in such a shitty situation majority of the time, but she still tried to make everything work. And then we got to where we pretty much ended of first day school.
Ended? You mean started?
Well, we ended last week.
Ended the session at the start of school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I meant. Oh no.
Oh no, what? What happened?
Okay. I tried to go back to the chat thing for Roll20, and then
Did you pop it out again?
no. Google Chrome was like, Google Chrome's not responding. I'm like, no, don't do this shit to me right now. I don't need to be fighting Chrome today.
I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but I don't see anybody in the live chat. But then again, I'm 100% sure. Because when we did the live thing last time, we did it with Wade, and 2 people commented on the thing, and I never saw it, which is confusing to me. So something broke with Facebook or something else. We'll see.
Strange.
No. Right there. I never found the town setting stuff, but whatever. Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
One thing that I forgot to do to your sheet. Give me 1 sec.
I like how I'm looking at the Roll20 chat and all I see is a pipe that blows bubbles. The fuck?
That's Wade's trinket. I am looking at the wrong spot. Alright, there you are. Common. There we go. And I want you to look at your proficiencies real quick.
Okay. God. My proficiencies. Okay.
Those are the languages you can speak and understand.
They teaching me Elvish in a dwarven town?
Nope. That is all stuff your mother has taught you. Undercommon, Common, Dwarvish, and Elvish. You don't know why your mom knew all those languages, but she taught you anyways.
Yeah. Very strange set to have. Alright.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn you fucking down, music. Okay, so Calder. We were walking down the halls of the schoolhouse that you were in. You were walked into your classroom, where you are met with just like a big grouping of dwarves, or dwarvish children, in a classroom, sitting all together. And in that same room, you do see that same girl from before. Somewhere in the back corner. See a dwarf kid taking a nap in the middle of class. Well, not in the middle of class, but the start of class. He's just napping on the thing. And you see one that is just staring at you with racist disgust.
Lovely.
You are brought to the front of the class and are introduced to everyone as Calder what?
I would say that's probably what we would go with, just to not have any weird sort of confusion. Is he'll introduce himself as Calder McGowan, just to make it not seem as strange, or anybody to ask other questions.
Okay. So the one that was staring at you with disgust pipes up and says, "McGowan, You don't seem like no dwarf. I'm sorry for the heavy accent of a fucking child, goddammit. How do you respond, Calder?
What did he fully say?
McGowan, you don't seem like no dwarf to me.
How would a 5-year-old explain that? Isn't he pretty much? Was he shorter than them?
No.
Shorter than the McGoans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because dwarves are 5 feet, so.
Wait, dwarves are 5 feet. Damn.
Yeah. By the book, they're 4'10" to 5.
Damn, that's a tall dwarf. Supposedly, Jesus. I think he'll probably look at you just like, why do I have to be a dwarf to be a McGowan? Just look at him strangely. Very innocently and strangely.
Why do you have to be a dwarf to be a McGowan? Because the McGowans themselves are... the fuck was I about to say elves? The McGowans themselves...
The McGowans themselves are fucking dagger ears!
The McGowans themselves are dwarves, and you are a human piece of shit. We do not want any more of your kind sticking around and trying to steal our secrets.
Sure know a lot for a 5-year-old.
I'm not 5, I'm 10.
Am I taller than him?
No.
Same height?
Yep.
You okay?
Uh-oh. It looks like Big Evil 103 has stepped away for a little bit to provide assistance to the girlfriend. Hoping everything is okay, so in the meantime you'll be dealing with the lone DM once again, admiring his beautiful yet kinda creepy piece of artwork he has drawn today. Yes, the medallion of the Silvered Edition. It displays the rune of power and strength, I think that's the rune of power and strength at the very top of each of the kite shields, I think is what I went with for the design of that. We also have the birds in the background going constantly off. Alright. There's going to be many more interruptions throughout the night. Mainly from the burbs and the doggo that's outside. Ugh. I'm hoping tomorrow is going to be a lot better than today was. Hoping that Wade's internet works fine tomorrow. I'm hoping that. And I'm hoping that we can at least get to some fun points tomorrow for D&D. I have no idea what's going on. And I'm kind of worried now that I might be stuck here for a good while until he gets back. Well, I guess in the meantime, we could set up the next character sheet for you, Omni.
Okay, I'm back.
Or never mind. What happened? Everything okay?
Yeah, she was just, she came in. Back's not doing too good. But she says hello.
Okay. I hope she's okay, and I hope she doesn't have to go back to the hospital.
No, it's just Her hip was hurting more today, especially after the walk, so. And her back popped in a not so good way before the walk.
Jesus. Now, where were we?
The dwarf was spewing some racist shit at me, pretty much.
Yeah, not wanting humans around because he's worried they're going to steal the secrets of magic and other things. He's also 10, and you're 5.
He'll pretty much just look at him while he says that entire spiel and just be like, just blink slowly.
Have you nothing to say for yourself?
Not really. Just keep staring at him and blinking.
Make an intimidation check.
Intimidation. Okay. 18.
Where are you? Here. There we go. There you are. Gee. Ah! Cancel that. Cancel that. Discard and exit. There we go. Oops.
A strength check. Excuse me.
I accidentally clicked that wrong. Wasted net 20 on 9 is his wisdom save. Why are you staring at me so creepily, you fucking weirdo? As the boy walks away from you now.
Pretty much just stares at him until he goes away. Looks to see if he can find a place to sit, I'm assuming.
You just find the nearest empty spot. Roll a general charisma check. Okay.
Cursed me with the 9.
You just stare about the room, find a seat, sit down, unfazed by a lot of things. And you begin your day. Well, out of the stuff that you experienced during class, which one would you favor? We have the languages, we have calculation and measurement, we have the sciences, and what else was there? Where the fuck are you? That's 1. That's 2. Okay, there was probably just 3 of them, I think. Oh, no, language, math, history, and nature science. So which would you think Calder would be more interested in during the whole class things, and which one he would be paying more attention to at the end of the day? And I will state that these do matter.
So what all were the ones that you said?
Language, math, history, nature science.
He would probably, because of the whole smithing thing, pay a bit more attention to maybe like the maths part, but then also pay attention to the nature because of the whole exploring, how much he liked to explore the woods behind his house.
Okay. You begin to learn the basics of Dwarvish writing and Common writing. Then you pretty much ignore anything extra for like the vernaculars, punctuation, all that stuff. Mathematics you pay close attention to because it kind of resembles the stuff that Owen did with like measuring out how long to make a sword or how long to make a hammer, all that stuff, measuring, and then calculating strikes and other stuff like that with the weapons itself. History, you hear the name Gramey be said and you just ignore it, being too scared about it.
Don't even pay it. Something got smashed.
It's like you get spooked by the name, you avoid hearing the rest of the history about Gramey. And then nature science. You actually learn about the different things, and they seem to be different things like ores, material, all that stuff. And then the elementals that help you find said materials and stuff in caves and other things. It seems like they're trying to indoctrinate kids into becoming miners.
Sounds like it.
And stuff.
I mean, that's also probably a lot of the dwarven thing anyways.
The one creature that does catch your attention because you've never seen one before is the creature called the Granule Bop.
How about a what?
The Granule Bop. I think it was 1 foot tall creature made of a certain material like either iron or maybe sometimes diamond or other rare gems and minerals like that lead miners to big veins of the stuff, mainly just because they want to make more of themselves. Once the Granule Bop has led miners to a set location, they are dispatched. You have no idea what the word dispatch means in that said context. You don't need to take notes on that.
I mean, I'm doing it because it's a creature that if it possibly comes up to it, I know something about it. I'm just putting how I think it's spelled, and just says it leads to precious ores.
It's like granule. It's like
Granule?
this. Yeah, granule.
Granola. Okay, Granule Bop. All right.
One thing in particular about a Granule Bop is that they do yell the word bop a lot. It's probably where it got its name.
Yells bop a lot. Alright.
You learn the different properties of the stones that the dwarves work with here, the different properties of the ores as well. You also learn about how cave structures work and how to safely traverse them. You now have an advantage on traveling through caves.
Hell yeah.
And mathematics. Let's see. So you get bonuses to damage, creative skill checks, and haggling. They teach you about measurements and all that, and they teach you like word equations that help you deal with situations. And they also just straight up put you in a scenario where you are improvising or actually role-playing with another person in the room on how to haggle. And the dwarves, they haggle either violently or passively. And that one kid comes up to the front of the room, and he's paired up with you. How do you roleplay this scenario as he is the one trying to barter with you? Hello?
Getting asked a question.
I have to do a lot of editing. I have no idea how to turn this into a good harmony. Rain goes stupidly loud. Not even sure if it's picked up in the recording. Then we also have the birds in the background, and oh my goodness. Hey, you know what's great? Let's work on Omni's sheet for right now. I swear to God, if he comes back at the same time. Nope, that is null. Alright, so for sorcerer stuff, Edit sheet directly. Choose class. Sorcerer. Where are you? Where are you? There. Sorcerer. Level 1. Race. Wood elf. Wood elf. Wood. I get. Dang it. Wood elf. Actually, no, it's elf, and then the subrace is wood elf. Oh, then that happened.
Okay, sorry about that. Fucking dad came in asking questions, not fucking knowing to stay the fuck away at this time, but
When does he ever care about that stuff?
that's true. That is definitely true.
When a question needs to be asked, a father will ignore his son's privacy.
Well, he does the thing. I'm respecting your privacy by knocking on your door, but I'm not respecting your privacy by opening the door after.
Alright, so you presented this scenario. Calder, you have 2 apples. Each apple is worth 5 copper. The boy that came to you earlier with like some of the remarks about you being a thief of dwarven magic and other bullshit, his name is Fingal Greer. It's up to you whether you want to write that down or not.
Fingal Greer?
Fingal. Let me see. Where are you? Oops.
Okay.
Fingal, your objective is to haggle down the price of the apples. Fingal gets in your face, Calder, and says, I'm taking this apple for 3 copper, and you're going to accept that. What's your response, Calder?
I'll just look at him and just be like, no, they're worth 5 copper.
But I only have 3. And I don't feel like paying your high price for apples.
Well, I have plenty of apples, as you can see.
So why not sell me one at a discount?
I may have thought to do that if you didn't so rudely come up and say you were going to take them.
But I may be a future customer that may buy apples from you sometime later down the road. Why not give me a discount now?
Well, maybe if you made a better introduction of yourself, I would. But why would I want somebody rude constantly coming around wanting to buy my apples at a cheaper price when I could have somebody nice buy them at regular price?
Persuasion check. With advantage. $16.
Thanks for the advantage.
Did I close the sheet? Yes, I did. Oh wait, no, he's right here. Okay. Well then!
I'm calling some bullshit. It seems to be the first thing you roll after I roll. You get nat 20.
But he's at a disadvantage at an 8 because he is definitely being rude and you make a good, like... Both of you are sent back to your seats. Fingal is taught a little bit of a lesson of respecting people before he tries to haggle with them. Make another general charisma check. Like, I'm just gonna roll. Just gonna roll and see what happens.
Oh, roll 20.
Ha. 16. Alright. The day goes out without much things happening to you. You get shoulder checked by Fingal a little bit. Kind of hurts, but whatever. He's an asshole.
Yeah, he doesn't really pay him too much mind.
Okay.
Considering everything else he's been through recently, he's just like, whatever, kid.
Perception check if you want to.
Okay.
As you guys are leaving the classroom and everything.
That's performance. I can.
You dance around every issue you have gone. Oh, are you fucking joking? You have a 2 in it.
I know.
That's a 5. There we go. You see the 10-year-old dwarf push down another, like, smaller, younger dwarf that seems to be maybe the same age as you. You're not really 100% sure, because dwarves are weird to you. With their body shapes and everything. Yeah, and push down another dwarf and you see him kick him in the teeth as he walks by after that.
Fingal did?
Yeah, Fingal did that. And then 2 other dwarves do the same thing to the kid, kick him in the teeth.
I'll fucking start screaming at him, just like, hey, leave him alone!
See all 3 of those dwarves book it.
He'll just do the fucking stare that he did before.
You want to do an intimidation check or no?
Sure.
Because you're technically now the silent, creepy kid.
9. Damn.
All of them save against you. But they just book it because they want to get in trouble with the teachers and all that stuff.
I'll run over and check if the other kid's okay.
You run over, you check the kids okay, and the human girl who's in the same class as you does the same thing. You see this young dwarf, no beard or anything, yet. Just bloodied nose and everything. Not even crying, he's just more or less... I just want to say, you actually know those, like, numb kids in school, where they get bullied but they don't really react to anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the situation that's going on right now.
Would I have, like, anything to wipe the blood off of his face?
How much do you care about your clothes?
He doesn't really fucking care about his
Yeah.
clothes.
You can use your clothes to wipe off the blood or anything else like that. But the girl right next to you pulls out a tiny red vial. Try this instead. Do you take it or no?
I guess I'll I'll take it. I'll kind of like look at it, just like, is this gonna hurt him?
No, it should help a little bit.
Kind of hand it to him, I guess, and she'll be like, "Here, take this."
What is this?
I don't know. She said it's something that should help.
Help with what?
I'm kind of looking at him. The blood? How they hit you?
Oh, just drink it. The girl just goes over, then force feeds him the potion. Okay. 1d4 plus 2. 5. You see the blood, like, not disappear, but you see him look a little bit better. Nose doesn't look broken anymore. Do you have something for feelings? Both of you just blink, I guess.
But my brain is just like immediate. The first thing my brain thought is probably going to be the thing he says. Friendship?
Charisma check. With advantage. Well then.
Yeah, how do you help with feelings? Be around people.
17.
Damn.
And 16. Okay, so the girl behind you just You catch her, like, mid-laugh, just, oh! Because it was so fucking cringy, but you managed to make it work for the boy. And the boy stares at you with stars in his eyes. You mean you want to be friends with me?
Yeah.
You are tackle hugged.
Oh god. Yeah.
Okay. So, you get introduced to this boy by the name of Frang Inns.
Huh?
Give me a sec here.
These fucking names, my guy. God
Hey,
damn.
this is Scottish stuff.
I know. That's why I'm saying. God damn.
Frang Inns. And the girl right next to you, oh my god. Also introduces herself as well as a daughter of one of the head merchants from Malin. Yes, I swear to God. There we go. Copy and minimize you. She introduces herself as Marini Blackwood. You could just call her Mare for short.
Mayor.
Mare. No, not Mare.
No, mare like in a horse.
I know. Let me be funny. Well, you find out why the other dwarves are picking on Frang for a little bit. And it's just because Frang's father has dishonored his family by never returning from a great war that he fought into. Leaving his wife alone with a pathetic son that could not fight for his own life or for his mother's honor. Which is a bit much to expect from a fucking child dwarf.
Yeah, I'm not gonna add that other part because that's some heavy shit. Try to put on a child. Damn.
But this is a small community of dwarves. The ones that truly pick on Frang are just the kids who are trying to live up to their more twisted version of their culture. The adults don't really care much for someone else's child, except maybe the ones, maybe like your end. But since Frang already had a mother, the McGowans really had no chance of picking up Frang at all.
Yeah.
As for Mare, she's, again, daughter of a... Did I say blacksmith or did I say merchant?
Said merchant.
Okay. Daughter of a merchant. Who has her staying in Matea for a good for the next 5 years so she can learn and observe the culture of the dwarves so she have some experience. After that, she doesn't know where she's going to head next, but she intends to make a good use of her time here, learning different skills of selling or learning how to introduce products to other people. And being in a community full of dwarven smiths and magic item creation as well, it's a good start for her, at least.
Interesting to do. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Over the next few days, you start learning more and more about the language and how to write. You finally learn how to do punctuation correctly, and it seems like this. And it seems like the school is teaching kids at different levels within the same time frame, as you have 4 teachers in the same room, with about a good 6 students. So all the 5-year-olds get taught by one for a specific subject in English. You have another one that teaches math to the other groups and yourselves. Same thing for the other 2 courses.
Gotcha.
Over those course of a few weeks, you learn better language, punctuation. You learn to do more advanced math problems, like bigger addition and subtraction. Nowhere near multiplication just yet. And then again, for like history, you're not really paying that much attention to that stuff. Because again, Grammy is name dropped once again, and plus a war that he fought in. I didn't really care to pay much attention there. And then nature science comes up, and you start learning more and more about the world of magic and creatures. You learn that magic is called, well, in its base form, is called Adfiend. Do you want the spelling of that, or do you think it's going to come up a lot in conversation? It's up to you.
I'll take whatever the spelling is for it, just so I know.
You learn that Adfiend comes from its origin source of elves that came from the Feywild that introduced Adfiend into this world, therefore making the Feywild the origin of all magic in this world.
Alright.
Alright. You'll learn about what those giant rock people were called Calder. You learn about stone elementals, all that stuff. You learn that Calder liked to eat metal and all that things, which explains why that one ate your hammer and somehow spat out and gave you raw steel.
Equivalent exchange.
And you learn that the Calder stay around to guard Matea, and you find that the Matea is the home city, or not home city, the hometown of Grammy once again. And that's their sole reason for existing in Matea. They just stick around because it's the home of their god.
Interesting to know.
So, like, after school stuff, would you... What was it? What would you like to do after school stuff? Would you like to hang out with two kids you were introduced to properly, both Mayor and Frang? Or would you prefer doing chores and hanging out with your folks? Well, adopted folks, I mean.
He would probably, for at least the first couple days, do chores and then possibly ask about being able to do that if he like catches up on doing a bunch of them or something.
Well, you keep on top of your chores pretty easily because most of the chores you basically know how to do, like cleaning the house and all that stuff. You only need to do those every 2 days. But the chores of cleaning the horse pen is daily. So your adopted folks honestly don't really care because they prefer you hang out with kids your own age. So as long as you finish the clean out the horse pens, you're fine.
Okay.
You bring over Mare and Frang sometimes. You guys play games. What games would you be more interested in? Mare's games or Frang's games? Mare's games are more fantasy and Monopoly-like things. And then Frang's games are exploration. Or would you like to do a mix of both? Like, sometimes one day you do Mare, and sometimes the other days you do Frang.
He would probably mix it up.
Okay.
Just to not make anyone feel like kind of ignored, I guess. Basically kind of how it felt on that first kind of day.
Alright, so playing Monopoly, you find that the Mare is very aggressive in collecting property.
Gotta haggle.
Haggle for everything. She buys up most of the properties as fast as possible because she always volunteers to be first, and she ends up cheating the game anyways.
We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're
You have no idea what the fuck you're doing, but once you guys start learning more advanced math techniques, you start learning about money and all that stuff, and you start to learn the game's rules a lot better. Would you like to argue with Marnie on the rules, or would you just let her be?
God, as a kid, he would probably argue, but as me, I think it would be something kind of as a dick thing to do as a friend to hold over on somebody, just to be like, if something happens, you're just like, yeah, well, you always fucking cheated when we played Monopoly and thought we never knew.
What do you want to do?
I think it'll be more of the other, just let her have fun. We're fucking kids.
Okay.
I'm not gonna end up being fucking asshole fucking Fingal.
Okay. Okay, Frang reads for the rules, looks at Mare, looks back at the game board, puts the rules down, and looks at the game board still very confused. As for you, you know what the rules are, but you just let her be. I want you to roll an intelligence check.
Okay.
$13, decent check. She has her own sheet, but I don't think I designed it well. 14.
What the fuck?
You're the one that buys up the most amount of properties next to her. You guys end up competing a lot, and poor Frang ends up in jail somehow. And Frang is like, "What did I do wrong?" And Mare just like puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "You see, you screw." She starts explaining the rules and the whole process, confusing Frang even more. You understand everything she says, and you also join in explaining, confusing Frang even more still. You didn't realize that Frang probably got hit too many times in the head. Poor boy. You guys end up having a lot of fun for all those things. Sometimes you manage to get ahead of Mare, but she ends up catching up anyways, so she's good at this. You are just starting.
Just played it a bunch.
Yeah. We want you to roll me an inverse wisdom save for just one night of play where she ends up going a bit overboard.
Wisdom save?
Inverse wisdom save. 9. She ends up going a bit overboard and actually full on displays cheating for some of the things. You get just a little bit frustrated, and Frang doesn't know what the fuck is happening. What would be Calder's response to her overblown cheating? Like, she's cheated before, but not to this extent where it's blatantly obvious that she is.
How to not sound like a complete asshole as a kid.
Fantasy Monopoly makes you think hard.
Yeah, Monopoly and regular Monopoly both make you fantasy Monopoly and regular make you think.
Oh.
I think you kind of just be like, okay, I was okay with what you were doing before, but now this is getting really obvious.
What do you mean, really obvious? She starts to sweat.
You're cheating.
Oh, roll a charisma check really quick. 14. Calder just points at her like pocket area, and you guys, both you and Frank, see just play money just fall out of her pockets. I don't know what you're talking about. She's trying to play it cool. And then you see your dad in the background go as he spits out fucking booze across the table into your mom's face, and it's like, really? You just see him start laughing. The whole scenario is just like really funny, and you do embarrass her in a non-dickish way because it's her own goddamn fault.
Yeah.
If you had rolled low on that charisma, you would have been yelled at a little bit. Not by the parents, but by her.
He's kind of just all calm about it, just like, come on. At least don't make it so fucking obvious.
And Frank thinks you're so fucking cool for noticing that shit. Okay. And then we go into like Frank's things. You guys get to explore most of the town for all the things. Mary actually seems to be having fun with you guys with exploring. She seems to be just as athletic as dumb boy Frank. You see Frank hop fences. You also see her hop fences. What about you, dexterity check?
Oh god.
You attempt to jump a fence, and the fence falls on you. You go ah! And crash.
It's one of those things. He's still not necessarily used to the fucking clothing, and it catches, and he gets caught on it.
No, the freaking clothing weighs you down so much that the fence fell with you.
Oh god. Hit halfway on the fence.
Frank and Mare come to you, and Mare just laughs at you a little bit. Frank is actually being your buddy and actually helping you get rid of the fence on top of yourself. Mary can't be really much of help because she's technically a wizard class. No strength to speak of. Dexterity, though. That's another question. That's another thing. Fields, all that stuff. You actually find scrap metal in the scrap areas for some forges where projects did not work out well. You see twisted swords. You don't understand how the fuck they became this way. And then Mare begins to explain to you how, like, what was it? Twisting metal is an easier process of folding metal.
Mm-hmm.
It also gives you a prettier design if you do it right. I forgot what that process was called. Oh well, I'll think of it later. And
That's
Frank
so
thinks it would be a cool idea to take the metal and feed it to one of the Calder. Do you agree with this plan or no?
Are we taking it from somebody's house?
Taking it from the scrap metal yard for scrap projects.
Oh,
and
just
and literally it says food for Calder.
okay.
There's a sign like near it.
Yeah, he'd be kind of hesitant based on how the stuff like the Calder were before, but he'd be like, okay.
Don't you dare feed me to those Calder, says the mimic, Marcus.
He's like, why would I do that?
Who are you talking to? Mare says.
Kind of just like, shit, I said that out loud.
You're a child. You don't know how to speak in your brain yet properly when you respond to something like that.
He kind of like, based on how nobody seemed to ever respond when he would say something about that, thinking he was like kind of thinking more in his head. He's just like,
Think fast! What was that? Shit, I did it too! Okay, seriously, what was that? Who's behind you? Where's that coming from? Mare says as she's like looking around you and I'll call her. Book it! Book it! Book it!
I don't know if you'd fucking listen to the hammer more. I think it kind of act like I think it was coming from over there, and then book it the other direction.
Deception check.
5. That's not working. Ah!
Okay, she looks in the direction of your point, and Calder, you book it after Frang, who is currently taking a gigantic twisted sword towards the Gallop Durfield.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey! She starts chasing after you now. Good. They did not find out about me. I don't want to be smacked again.
He kind of, while he's running, he's just doing the shh.
Your mimic has been traumatized enough to doesn't want to be revealed again just in case someone decides to smack him with another fucking axe.
Yeah.
You guys end up going to the Galbdor field and feeding one of the bigger ones that gigantic twisted sword, and he eats it and spits out a fire gem.
Ooh.
Frang holds it. Frang is confused by the fact that there's a fire gem in place of a steel sword, but shrugs his shoulders and thinks it's cool and shows it to you guys. And then you start seeing cogwheels start turning in Mare's head as she is... Make an insight check, actually.
She's
Even though you can already guess.
Fucking take it. Insight.
6.
Goddamn.
11. You don't really know what she's planning right now, but Mare has cogwheels turning in their head, and she goes over to Frang. So, Frang, what you have there is worth a lot of money, where we can make enough money to possibly get some new gear for exploring, so maybe a compass, maybe rope, ladder, other things like that. If we sell this to one of the adults here, or if they might give us a reward if we give to them. So, either you, me, or Calder are going to try to sell it to one of our fine adult friends here, as she starts looking around at all the smithing dwarves about. What do you say, Frank?
So, we have Ed, which is... So we have Ed, who is Frang, Eddie, who is Mayor, and I guess I'm Double D.
That was Frang's insight check.
A 2.
And oh my god. Insight check on your end, Calder. 8. Well,
maybe we're both Ed.
Having some extra cash on hand, especially since you now figured out what fucking money can do for you, might be fun if you guys divide it evenly. You try to make that argument, Calder, or...
I mean, he'll probably just be like in the first, it's just like, well, God, fucking notes. Well, Frang found it, so he should be able to decide what he wants to do with it.
Frang just raises the fire gem and says, "Let's sell it!" Because he's actually excited to get, like, gear and all that stuff. Mare just smiles. Whatever, as long as we get the money. Well, catches her stuff as we, and tries to say, as long as Frang gets the money. It's like, she's part of this adventure. She expects compensation from anything you guys find. Just cause. You can roll another insight check on Mare, on her personality and stuff.
Penny pinching child. Another insight, is that what you said?
Yeah, if you want to. Are you fucking... I mean, you would have advantage on this, actually, so... So yeah, like, Mare's personality does take after, like, your stereotypical merchant, where she is trying to penny pinch and make sure everyone gets the best deal possible within her friends group. You guys have been hanging out with Mare for about a few weeks now. She's taken a liking to both of you, even though she does take advantage of you guys in games to get out ahead. But in real life, you don't know how she would act in real life scenarios like that. But she seems to be trying to be fair towards Frang about that stuff. She's not trying to cheat him or anything. Any of that makes sense.
Yeah, it made sense.
Is like she's a merchant, she's gotta do what's best for herself, but she also is fair to her friends. Question mark.
Question mark.
She's also 5, so she hasn't really become vindictive yet. As you guys do more exploration throughout the town, you guys end up finding a granule bob. Roll me a D100, please.
A D100, you say?
Just for pure luck on the granule bob. Wow. Last D100 you rolled was a 52. The one before that was a 1. Now we have a 2. Are you going to go up and down a lot, or are you going to go down and up? Who knows?
No fucking clue.
All you just see is this granule bob kind of walking about made of stone, and you actually see a greenish tinged metal-like thing. Roll a nature check with advantage.
Nature. 21.
That's a copper granule bob. You see it go up to a Galabdur and yell, "Bop!" And the Galabdur just picks it up. What do you guys do as you see the Galabdur pick it up?
Does he look like he's gonna try to eat it?
Insight check. You see him unhinge his jaw.
He's gonna scream out, "Wait!"
Huh? As the Galabdur looks at you and the granola bop just says, "Bop! I'll deal with you in a minute." What?
That's a granola bop.
Yeah? It's a tasty snack for me.
If you follow it, it'll lead you to a more tasty snack.
Persuasion check. Well,
12.
Galabdur are fucking stupid. That's a 10.
Okay. They have a -5.
He puts it on the floor and begins following the granule bob. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna look back to them, just like, we should follow him.
Praying is all for the idea, but Mare says, do we have the equipment to find our way in and out? I'm a bit worried about that.
He'll kind of look at her and just be like, "Oh, I mean, it's a Galabdur. He'll pretty much probably try to eat his way and follow it."
Persuasion check, Calder.
Does that make sense though? They would probably try to eat their way through and follow it.
Yes, actually, I want you to roll an intelligence check.
Yeah,
try to remember the first encounter with the Galabdur you had. That one. You forgot that night because you passed out that same night. Now persuasion check.
Okay.
Are you fucking joking? 16.
Heaven or hell, that's right.
16 on Mare. Meets it beats.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable. You guys can go on ahead. I might either wait for you guys outside the cave or something. I'm gonna go tunnel up Delp before we head. That seem fair to you, Calder?
Okay.
Okay, she goes to inform an adult about Granule Bob following the leading a Galabdur and 2 other boys into a cave. You hear like horse thumps on the ground as they get closer and closer to you guys. And you see them pulling a gigantic but a gigantic cart full of pickaxes and tools. They even have some mini pickaxes for your kids. Where's the granola bop?
He'll point to where they went.
Okay, you guys are now following a Calder and granola bop into a cave full of adults who have headlamps and all that stuff, and lead down the way. And funny thing is, the Galabdur starts eating the fucking copper in the walls, and the dwarves are now trying to wrestle with the Galabdur, and the granola bop is just like yelling "bop" as a couple more granola bops are being made as the guys are pickaxing them out of the wall. Do you guys assist, or do you guys just watch the chaos ensue?
I think Calder would try to help.
Okay, what do you want to do? Try to help wrangle the Galabdur who might kick you into unconsciousness, or murder granola bops, or start mining the wall?
He'd probably just start mining the wall.
So pick more granola bops come out of the wall that are made of copper. They yell bop. Frang, realizing what these guys are, and he paid attention to the nature science, starts murdering the granola bops left and right. Mare is picking up every piece of copper she fucking can. Putting it in bags, and roll a perception check, actually. Oh, actually, no, 14, because you would know her personally. How well does she hide it? 12. You see her start putting stuff into an alchemy sack. And then putting stuff in the main sack. She's putting like a couple pieces of copper here and there. Do you say something about it, or you just let her be? Because it is just copper.
He'll kind of probably have some sweat beads, and he'll look at her and just be like, as long as whatever you're putting in that bag is your share and the rest is our share. He'll probably not kind of say it too crazily loud. He's just like, I'm okay with that.
What about my share? Yells the Calipter as he's being gagged by the dwarf.
He's gonna look at him just like, I mean, you've already had a bunch.
I haven't even eaten a single thing. He lies through his fucking teeth. Or gum, rocky gums. I don't know what to say for a Calipter mouth. As he's then accidentally thrown down the inside of the cave.
Oh.
You hear cracks, and you hear him say, I'm okay! You hear a bigger crack. Oh. As he falls to a farther direction. And then he calls back, I'm still okay! And then you hear a roar from down there.
Oh.
Oh, Grammy. As you hear more cracks.
Oh, no.
Roll a nature check on the roar.
11.
Some sort of underdark beast. But there's no feasible way for you guys to even get down the inside of that cave unless you guys take a makeshift elevator. So you guys should be safe. The Gelder, on the other hand, is probably currently fighting something big. All I wanted is more copper to eat. Oh, wait. Ooh, nice. Ah! And you hear the Galabdur just die.
Oh, no. He's kind of... I don't know if he'd really be too sad about it, because I think he's just like, well, I mean... Kind of did it to itself. Kind of like the other one that screamed Grammy and got smashed.
Yeah. The dwarves look back at you children. Look down the hole. Look back at you children. Stare at the copper. And start murdering the granola bops that come out of the wall. And meanwhile, you Calder, are the one that actually is putting in a lot of work just to mine them out of the wall. And they are just crawling on the wall, and then Frang and the other dwarves murder them. Mare is the one that's collecting a bunch of the stuff, putting her share into the alchemy bag, and putting the main share for the bigger dwarves in their big sacks and stuff, and putting it on the cart. We need to retrieve that core from that Galabdur at some point in time, but I don't think it's a good idea to go down there right now. As one of the dwarves says, looking down in the hole, and he just sees red eyes. Yeah, not a good idea.
Sounded like something big.
It was something big. But, we'll deal with that when it comes to it. Oh well. Alright, kids, let's get back. And you guys end up coming back with a good 50 pounds of copper. You don't know how much of that mayor stole. Well, not really stole, but took for herself. She put in the work. You guys get to keep a piece of, like, a good chunk, maybe like a pound of copper for yourselves. Mayor probably stole a little bit more. Why do I keep saying steal? She's not a rogue.
Appropriated.
Appropriated, yeah. Probably appropriated more than you guys, but for you, it was just a fun experience overall for just mining and dealing with all that stuff. What do you do with that piece of copper? Or chunk of copper you were gifted, or not gifted, but given?
Assuming based on the things that he knows about, he would probably take it home and show it to... Oh, you need me to mute for a second. Hold up.
Alright, so how is everyone doing tonight? Everyone having fun with our session with the tiny misadventures of Calder and company, along with the misadventures of the Galabdur that is now dead, but there's about a good 50 more of them, with a new one being created each day. Alright. So you show that...
probably take it home and show it to Owen.
Good, Owen. He seems impressed that you managed to get a decent chunk that looks like it's pure and all that stuff. You look at it, it's green. You know what copper looks like? But it being green just feels weird to you. Owen then tells you that copper needs to be purified within the cleansing flame. Not cleansing flames, the fucking forge fire. We are not doing this holy business yet. So... he puts it on a stone plate, puts it into his kiln, I think. Yeah, the forge kiln. And it glows bright hot, and he takes it out and shows you what to do with the hammer and all that stuff. Judgment. Judgment of an adult. Against this better judgment, he actually gives you a hammer and tells you how to hammer the copper into purity. Roll a strength check.
Strength check. Come on.
8. You lift the hammer and you go for the first smack. You miss the ore and you smack the anvil, and it hurts your wrist. I think I may have started you too young at this.
He'll fucking try again because he was fucking doing the other stuff.
I'll allow you one more time because if you try and miss again, it's gonna hurt a lot. I mean, a kid will back away from pain. So one more time.
Oh my fucking God.
Miss again, and you hear a disgusting pop for your metacarpals. Oh, okay. He brings your hand to a very cold bucket of water and tells you to keep that cool so the swelling goes down because you did possibly crack your bones a little bit. And he just tells you to watch and learn for a little bit. You'd see him smith stuff. He then asks you, what do you want to make with this copper ore? Because there's enough to make kitchen utensils, a small little knife, or maybe... I want to say maybe a copper toy, maybe? Aww.
I think he'd probably want to make it into like a little knife so he has something that's not just the fucking letter opener. In case
The
anything
letter
happens.
opener was made of silver. So I'm just telling you that now.
Oh, so it was a silvered letter opener. Okay.
Yep.
That's actually... Would a kid care about that though?
You just know it's shiny.
Yeah, I know it.
It's shiny and it saved your life.
It saved my life. You know what? I'll. I'll try to make let's say a toy out of it.
Yeah, he makes you a copper horse miniature. Though it did take a couple days for him to make it, you saw the whole process of trying to knead the copper ore into the perfect pieces, and you saw that he had to go into multiple different pieces to try and make it, using different tools, from picks to tiny hammers to other things. I don't remember what exactly it would be to make like small toys from smithing gear. But whatever. See him do all the process, and you actually do learn quite a bit from how pliable copper is. Even shows you that the horse can bend a little bit because copper is a very soft metal. You have now learned the properties of copper and smithing. And can now work with it to make whatever you fucking want to make. To a degree. You still need skill.
Still gotta have trial and error.
Fast forwarding a little bit. You experience the year with the family and the other kids, and I have a question for you. Fingal is still a dick towards you, still a dick towards Frang, and seems to be treating Mare nicely, which confuses you. What would you do? Or what do you do with Fingal? Do you try to further your animosity towards each other, or do you try to patch things? Or try to defend Fingal? Try to defend Frang from his bullying?
I think it would be a mix of trying to defend Frang if it gets to that point, but also trying to like, I don't know, I guess trying to see why Fingal is being such an ass to like anybody, and like kind of just be like, I don't know, maybe how would I say it? Does he have like a posse that seems to follow him at all? Would I have been able to tell throughout the time, do they follow him out of fear?
No, dwarvish respect. Dwarvish respect.
Dwarvish respect.
At least the twisted dwarvish respect in their own thing, because you know kids can be fucking twisted as they're growing up and dealing with their hormones and all that bullcrap.
I think he would also sit there, because one, he'd defend Frang if he has to, but he would also try and just be like, he would confront him a lot if he would see him about the whole like kind of dwarfish respect, because from what he's been told of everything else and probably what he's learned so far is literally nothing that he is doing. He's just being an ass.
You would confront him about every time he does like pick on Frang for the dwarvish culture thing.
Well, it would be like confronting him and just be like, why do you have to act that way, pretty much? Kind of just being like, I guess it'd be kind of like trying to see why. Because so far, with how I'm feeling how Calder is, it's more of he's curious and he doesn't fucking understand why people have to be that way. Because so far, like, I don't know. It's kind of reminding me of the thing. Like, I kind of feel like Calder would be like the why do you hate me without even really knowing me? Why are you so mean to us without really knowing me and having a reason to be.
I can allow you to make 2 types of checks. One is history check to see how well you paid attention in the history class portion of things, and 2 intelligence check or insight. On Fingal or Frang?
Because he knew about the whole Dishonored thing, but it doesn't. He doesn't understand why you would treat the kid that way. Because he's just a kid like everybody else. So it would be more of trying to probably insight Fingal.
Okay. Insight check.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Nah, fucking kid's just a dick. Can't really figure out which way or have it. He just says it's like his culture to like not really, but just like pick on the Dishonored and make sure they know their place and all that stuff. If he can't defend his mother's honor, if he can't defend himself, what good is he to the dwarvish culture of Matea? Or the dwarves of Matea, I mean. And do you call that this is a bit frustrating because Fingal is definitely Fingal. Frang is definitely strong, or at least acrobatic, because you see him like vaulting over a bunch of stuff, digging, murdering fucking small little monsters.
Yeah, like he fucking defended us in the cave pretty much by fight. Well, defended air quotes of fighting the bops. So he showed some sort of initiative there.
The bops weren't attacking you; they're just spawning.
Well, I know, but it still seemed like he's just like, oh, this is what I should do, and so it's like, okay, he has some understanding of when it's time to do something and when it's not.
General intelligence check to see, like what he means for defending stuff.
Intelligence.
16. So you do remember that you see Fingal pushing around Frang. He's trying to get Frang to fight him, prove that he's worth something, but Frang is numb most of the time. Do you ever like ask questions to Frang of why he acts so numb, or do you just focus more on Fingal being a dick?
It would be once he starts noticing that more, he would bring it up and like ask why he doesn't try to defend himself. Why is he not like? Because it kind of seems like one, Fingal is being an asshole, but 2, he's also just being like, come on, there's got to be something there. Because it does seem like him being an asshole child, but it also kind of seems like as well, like, you got to do something. You can't just sit here and not.
I want you to try and roll. Like, first, give me a question that you posed to Frang of why he doesn't fight back. Give me a good question, and I'll determine what type of roll to make.
I guess it'd probably be one of the times either after it happens or like.
And another question on top of that is: do you do that with Mare present, or is it the times where you're just alone being bros?
He would have it to where it's just him and him, like heart to heart. He's not gonna involve anyone else into it.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll one separate check real quick. Okay, perception check real quick. That one.
Jesus Christ.
All right, now it's time for your question.
Okay. How do I word this as a kid asking this question? He'll probably just be like, why is it when you're with us, you seem to have a reason to like try and help us and like make sure we don't get hurt, but when it comes to you just by yourself, you don't try to fight back when Fingal messes with you.
Persuasion check. Just normal. 15.
15.
How depressed are you?
7.
Okay. I know you're adopted, Calder. But, let me ask you a question. Did you know your father ever?
No.
Never present in your life? You never known him at all?
No. It
He
was
drops
always
his
me
head.
and my mom.
He drops his head a little bit. I don't know how I can make you understand a little bit, but my dad left us to go fight in the war. Well, go fight in the war to resist Paxton from invading us. He told me to look out for Mom. Told me to look out for the other children. And told me never to bring harm to them and harm to our honor. And I still want to honor his words to me. But I don't know how I can honor them and keep myself safe at the same time. It frustrates me a little bit that Fingal pushes me around, beats me bloody, and tries to incite me to fight him. And I want to honor my dad's words to me. I just don't know how to deal with situations like that. I don't know how I'd defend my mom's honor in that either. It's frustrating and confusing to me. And I wish I had his guidance, but he's been gone for 3 years. And the war's been over for a good 2. I don't. Just looks at the ground. You see just shade drop over his eyes. What are you trying to do, Calder?
He'll kind of do the like. I'm assuming they're probably like sitting on a log or something side by side or something like that. And he'll kind of do like the. Kind of like that weird like side hug thing that you would do. Just to like kind of try and just be like, hey. But he doesn't really. He would just be like, so, if you're trying to honor what your dad said, what if you thought about it like let me ask you this then. If Fingal was picking on me or Mare and you saw it, like he was hurting us and fighting us and we didn't do anything, what would you do?
I want you to roll a general charisma check to see.
Oops.
Oh, that's 2 of them.
I double clicked it. Oops.
15. How depressed are you? 15. He looks up to you, Calder, and says, I would put myself between you two and take the beating for you. as I still don't know what to do after that. I wish my dad was still here.
He'll kind of look at him and just be like, you know, one of the things I always remembered that my mom had said to me is when it comes to certain things, there's times to run and there's times where you need to stand up for yourself. And you don't have to necessarily hurt them, but when you just sit there and take it, it's hard to word this in the way of a child.
You're also talking baby speak.
I know he's like fucking 5. Like, kids don't. He's not gonna understand full fucking crazy fucking sentences and shit. God. Pretty much so after necessarily saying that, I learned that when it came to it and I tried to run when some bad stuff happened when I was younger, I tried to run and I couldn't. And it got to the point where I had to fight back. And I did that too late. And he'll kind of look at him. And he'll kind of have that. It'll be like he doesn't notice it, but he'll have like a kind of tear thinking about it. And he'll look at him and just be like, I don't want to see that happen to anybody else that I know, to where it comes to it's too late and you can't do anything.
That's everything you say? Or...
He'll also say, that's why every time I see it happening and I don't see you try to fight back, I understand you said what your dad said to protect the people, and the other kids, but you can't just let them beat on you. You do have to stand up for yourself, because otherwise it'll get to the point where it's too bad, and then you won't be able to protect anyone.
General charisma check once again. 14. How depressed are you? You see Frang just pause for... Not really pause, but continue in thought. He looks up to you. He gives you a hug. He says he'll think about this situation further. And then we leave that there. Time fast forwards once again. Let's see how much he takes that to heart. 2d20s. 14. Okay. You see Frang be a little bit more lively just around town. You see him unflinching. He acts just like you when he's in front of Fingal. Well, that. He starts taking after your same actions, like staring at Fingal very creepily and asking him why he's being a dick and all that stuff, twisting his words around as well. Trying to be cunning like you, only being slightly more terrible at it. Because unfortunately he is dumb. And then you start seeing him start doing something that you've never seen him do before within the past couple of months. You see him pull some of these pranks on the older kids and Fingal that involve horse shit and buckets. He has decided that the way he will stand up for himself is via pranks on the older shits.
Jesus Christ.
Mayor helps him. Mayor helps him by end up like doing all the haggling business with all the stuff, starts dealing with all the adults and tell him about all the stuff that Fingal's been doing and then how Frang wants to rebel against all of his actions and stuff like that. The adults also helping a little bit. You see Frang become a little bit more lively and more full of life, a little less depressed. Though, when you do see him go home from time to time, you do see him get this sad look knowing that his full family still isn't there. But he is still more happy overall. Fast forwarding. You spend the next year with your family experiencing both the smithing events and the world festival events. You don't need to write these down because I will tell you when these come up again, but where the fuck is this shit? What was that? And the world is up there. So you get to experience, as you are starting in spring, you actually get to experience the New Life Festival, where the dwarves celebrate in Matea the birthing of new life and the celebration of planting new seedlings for the year. Then you move on to Summer's Peak. I want you to roll another history check. Just to see how well you've been paying attention in history class. Well then.
Pretty well,
18.
apparently.
Pretty well. You actually start learning about stuff that involves the past subjugation wars, where Paxton tried to invade all the other countries and won in 2 territories, actually won in 2 of the 4 territories. The territories being Price and Hayden. Care and the Lyra region were the only ones to attain victory against Paxton. So during the summer at Summer's Peak Festival, you see fireworks be launched in the air in celebration of winning the war, like 2 years ago. So like celebration of still independence and stuff like that. There's games, fun food, and all that stuff. You guys go into the city. You get worried a little bit because you wanted to stay at the city, but then you realize you're nowhere near the noble districts. You're just over there by the commoners districts and celebrate with all the commoners and bars where kids are not supposed to be, but you guys are just fed food, no drinks. And then you see for the first time ever, dwarves get shit-faced. And it is violent and funny at the same time. Because you see them going on about random things, and when some get into an argument, you see them go into a full-on fist brawl onto the floor and all that stuff, and when all the fist fighting is done and blood is shed, they end up going into sobbing matches against each other about like their shitty lives and how everything has been going up and down throughout the year. And you see them just make up and become actually closer after the drunken stupidity has ended. Which to you is both horrifying and amazing. And you see Mare taking notes during the whole event. Frang is very confused by everything. It's like, why do these people get weird when they drink this bad-tasting liquid? Frang actually does take a sip and he ends up vomiting. Calder, being a child, do you try to do the same thing? Your parents have accidentally have gotten themselves drunk. What do you do, Calder?
I think he'd probably do that kid thing of as long as As long as Frang didn't fucking like puke in the thing, he'll just be like, I want to try that.
Okay. Do you remember the first time you had alcohol?
Yeah.
Do you remember how nasty it tasted first time?
Yeah.
Roll a Constitution save. 14. You drink it, it burns. Oh my god, it tastes nasty. You want to vomit, but you don't vomit. Just, oh god. You start coughing and all of that.
I think it'd be more of the thing if he takes the sip of it, but he doesn't drink it and just spits it out, because that's exactly the reaction I had when I was a kid. Is I was just like,
You spit it out and fire comes out of your mouth.
oh.
Legit fire whiskey.
He's just like, whoa.
Mare just looks at you two and starts giggling. Because she knows what alcohol is, and she's seen her dad and all that stuff. She knows all the rules about it, and how kids can't handle that shit in general. So, oh god, all the adults are having fun. Why the fuck do they like this fucking danger juice?
Pretty much.
The festivities end with you guys going home and celebrating with a decent meal. Granted, you guys get home a day late because everyone was passed out drunk, and you sleep in a bar, which is an interesting experience. Because you wake up with, like, bedding and sheets over you. Turns out the fucking bar guys are used to the dwarves hanging out around here during the summertime. And are prepared for almost anything.
It's the TikTok I remember. The life hack as a child. Just fall asleep anywhere and you'll end up back in your bed.
You also end up waking up with a stuffed... What was it? Oh yeah, stuffed dragon next to you.
Ooh.
Mare gets a unicorn. Frang gets a troll. And Frang thinks it's fucking cool. There's also a card on top of the dragon.
He'll kind of look it over a bit more then.
You look at the dragon. There's an open seam in the dragon.
He'll kind of not try to pull too much attention to it, but he'll kind of try and see what's in there. But trying to like keep his back kind of more turned, I guess, to everybody, or do it while he had like the cover over him or something.
So you try to reach into the dragon stuffed animal for the open seam?
Mm-hmm.
You pull out a dried finger. It's the size of an adult's finger. It's dried and like the hollows you've seen before. And it feels fucking twisted when you hold it in your hand. What do you do with the finger?
So it looks more like a hollowed kind of hand finger thing?
Yep.
I know it's pushing it, but does it look any sort of familiar?
You don't fucking know.
Okay. It's just like, is it my mom's finger?
It's not feminine. It's more masculine.
Okay.
Actually, wait. Nature check on that dried finger, honestly. It is dried and shrunken, so you have no idea. Unfortunately, no. Where do you put that dried finger unless you don't want to keep it?
He'll probably very quietly just be like, try. At this point in time, would he understand more about trying to think in his head so, like, Marcus and them don't get outed easily?
You're not panicked, but you're also kind of slowly just waking up now, so you're not in the best mental state, so roll an intelligence check if you want to. What up, what up?
Oh god.
Natural one. You speak out loud again without realizing.
He'll try to like whisper it at least. I think in his brain, I think he's thinking he's like saying it in his head, but he's whispering it quietly, kind of like the thing where people mumble when they talk, but they're just like, "Oh, I didn't mean to say that out loud." He'll just kind of be like, kind of, it's just like, "Marcus, do you know what this is?" And kind of like trying to be like showing it, but like being discreet about showing it at least.
He licks the droid finger. It's disgusting. That's all I know.
Okay.
You're asking a newborn mimic questions that you don't know the answers to.
Would Paul know?
Do you want to try and ask him? You have to put him back in his normal form, and he's going to fucking yell.
I think he'll do the thing of he'll say it quietly of like, Paul, I need to put something away.
You
And
try to
like-
put it in your pocket?
Yeah, he'll try to put it in his pocket to where he remembers where, air quotes, Paul should be.
Remember, you have to look in your pocket for him to be there.
Oh, well, then he'll look in his pocket and put it in there then.
Okay. And unfortunately, nom 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 nom, he actually yells.
He kind of closes his pocket quietly. Shh.
That was almost a natural one for the entire bar. Almost. Mare wakes up. Huh, what's that? What was the noise? Calder, what do you do?
He'll kind of act sleepy and just be like, sorry, I had a nightmare.
Deception check with advantage. Because you were children.
It was like a bad dream. Deception.
12.
12. Or wait, did you say with advantage?
Yeah.
Oh, so then 18.
18. 14. Jesus, Calder, you... I'm surprised no one else woke up from that loud noise. What noise did you even make? Oh, whatever. He ends up going back and looks at that stuffed unicorn and realizes, I can sell this for a lot of money. She focuses on the unicorn. You also see Frang wrestling with the giant troll he was given. It's the size of him, so.
Jesus Christ.
Your dragon's also the size of you, too.
God dang.
The unicorn, unfortunately, is like the size of like her head, so it's not that big compared to your guys' stuff.
Damn.
He looks to both of you and is slightly peeved that you guys get bigger stuff that's worth more money. And after that little event, you guys end up traveling through the town. I want you to roll one perception check. Only one. You cannot re-roll this one. As a card does appear before you. Why? Why does this always happen to you?
Because I told you Roll20 hates me.
Natural one. You end up looking around just trying to figure out, because the card is just floating in front of you. Mare just asking, what you're looking for?
Kind of just be like, oh, I thought I saw something shiny.
Shiny? As she looks around too for a coin. Like left, right, up, and down. She actually finds a copper coin. Ha! Found it! I found it first. She looks at you and covets the coin. I found it first, so I get to keep it.
He doesn't care.
You can just tell how greedy this girl is. And you can tell she's been raised by a merchant, definitely. And you guys end up going back to Matea. The year progresses further, and here we go. Nope, that is not the festivals. I closed it like an idiot. Oh wait, no, I didn't close it. Next is the Harvest Festival. You guys end up spending like more months together, hanging out, playing more games, and all that stuff. And as it gets colder, you guys start hanging out more indoors, and you notice that Frang goes stir crazy. As he's an idiot and forgets to wear gloves and all that stuff, so most of the adults are trying to keep Frang from being stupid and going outside and adventuring in the fucking cold. It gets so bad to the point where they have to tie down Frang to a chair. Frang is like extremely stir crazy, but he does enjoy his time with you guys as you guys bring him some comfort through games and other things. Though granted, when Mare comes in with a chess set, you look worried.
Oh no.
As you've seen chess before, and you have attempted to play it, and have lost multiple times to your mother. You see Mare avoid you with the chess set, and she ends up going to Frang with the chess set. And Frang's an idiot. This girl's gonna beat his ass senseless in chess, goddammit.
Rude.
This is Mare's intelligence check. 4. And this is Frang's intelligence check on the
I swear to God. Come on.
6!
Big dumb glug! Hell yeah.
Okay, you see, like, Mare start doing stuff with the pawns, and then Frang, at random, not knowing the rules of pawns, moves the pawn 2 spaces forward. Annoying Mare just a little bit. You see them duel it out. You see Frang actually read a smaller rulebook that Mare brought with him. He reads it, slightly understands what the pieces do, ends up winning by making an extra queen using one of the pawns that reached the end of the other board, putting her stuff into check, and then checkmate after she makes a failed move. She now starts pondering itself. Maybe he's not as dumb as he looks. I can use that.
Oh my God.
And then Frang comes due with the chessboard, saying, "Let's play chess!" Excited by his first win. Do you want to play chess with Frang or no?
Sure, he'll play chess with Frang.
Intelligence check, both of you guys.
Intelligence.
What
the fuck? What the fuck?
Natural 20 for Frang against you.
he just kind of looks dumbfounded, just be like, huh?
The Frang accidentally beats you in 3 moves by taking out 2 of your pawns and making his queen put your king in check. Calder, you just stare at the chess game and realize that Frang may not be as dumb as he looks. Or this is extreme
really
dumb luck.
Fucking lucky. What the fuck? The one time I get a decent fucking roll on something, he gets a fucking crit.
You like look at the corner where Mare is, and she is grinning ear to ear and saying, "I could use this boy's intelligence a little bit later in life."
The fuck?
That was very unexpected. Fast forwarding again. The days get shorter and the nights get longer. The cold increases. And it's time for the Harvest Festival. You guys go into Malin and celebrate the collecting of the crops and celebrate well, not celebrate, but more or less honor those who have passed on this year, sending them into the afterlife to be judged by Grammy. Name comes up once again. Do you try to pay attention this time, or do you just go with the flow?
I would say as he's getting older, he'd probably pay a little bit more attention. Just because it seems important to them, I guess.
From all the stuff, the Grammy has brought honor to his country because he single-handedly defeated several armies of Paxton by himself. He's won several skirmishes, won battles, created a union between him and the elves of Larissa. Or no, Larissa is the name of the last world, goddammit. Of Lyra. Lyra. Something that starts with L. Grammy is an important figure, and he rose to the status of godhood, only to be the only god in this world. As far as anyone else knows. I want you to roll a religion check. That's passive, so I just want to see what happens with this.
Religion, you say?
Yep. 12. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna roll it, so. It's one number away. 68. Calder, as you look around during the what was it? Oh yeah, sending the brothers and sisters into the next life. You see the statue of Grammy before you see the depiction of him in his armor, and then you see someone that looks like Grammy himself standing in front of the statue, holding a lantern, and he starts walking up into the sky with all the souls in tow.
What the fuck?
Stealth check, please. As you're following what seems to be Grammy. 2. As you're looking up at Grammy feels your stare upon him, and he snaps his head to you. Calder, do you feel fear, or do you just what the fuck?
He just kind of does that odd-eyed kid stare, just being like, what is that?
You see him smirk at you, and you see his tiny little star start flying towards you, and it becomes bigger, and bigger, and bigger, and then turns into a hammer. Oh god, it's coming at your face! And it phases through you. You have no idea what just happened to you. I want you to roll 1d100, please.
Okay.
95!
It goes low, then it goes high. Then it goes low, then it goes high.
Okay, 95. Paul just goes, nom 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 nom, in public. Parents look at you, everyone else looks at you. Paul was fed something, and you have no idea what it was. Everyone is confused, because that's not a noise you made.
He'll just kind of just be like, excuse me. Act like he ate something.
Do you want that to be you, or do you want that to be Marcus?
It'll be me. He'll act like it was him that did it. Because he
what
realized
did you
fucking
eat?
Marcus said something.
What did you eat, says, your parents. Or adoptive parents.
He'll just kind of look at him and he's just like, oh.
All the other dwarves just look at you and laugh. The spirits that are following Grammy look at you and fucking laugh as well. They're all jovial. They're all happy to be moving on with Grammy because they seem to respect him a lot, as they seem cheery going into the next life. Most of them seem young. Some do seem old, but it seems like they're all wearing combative armor, wear scars, and all that stuff. Grammy, you can't really see very much. You can just see his mouth, and that's about it. The rest of him is covered in armor. Fast forwarding once again. Do check and see when you make it home what Paul ate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it'd be when he's like, if he has a room to himself, it would be when he's in there.
Okay. You pull out from Paul a small little hammer. A small little hammer symbol that's in the shape of a pendant.
Is it like a little necklace thing or just the pendant?
It's like a necklace thing. It tingles in your hand, or actually makes your hand tingle a little bit, but more or less in the more pleasant sense than it is like a numbing sense.
He'll put it around his neck. He's a dumb kid. He'll just be like, okay.
You see the ghost of a Calder staring at you.
Oh.
Take my goddamn copper from me! And then the Calder just starts wandering away.
What?
That's the ghost of the Calder.
Oh no! What the fuck? He's just like, huh? He just like the look down to the necklace and back at that. She's like, what?
When you look back up, you see the Calder that was flattened by the mountain in the shape of a pancake on the ground, looking at you. Hello, I'm a ghost rock.
Hi.
You can hear me? He yells surprised.
Yeah.
I've been trying to say hello to everyone, but no one responded to me ever again after the incident with the mountain. You were the first to hear me in months. Oh, so praise Grammy.
I have learned not to scream that from you.
Yes, it's a valuable lesson. Do not scream his name, or you will be sent to the spirit world via mountain.
He'll kind of look at him and like tilt his head, just like, well, that's why nobody could see you. And then he kind of thinks about it, just like, wait a minute, why can I see you? And he looks at the pendant and he's like, cool. It's the two little sparks finally making a connection. He's just like, oh.
Roll an intelligence check, please. It's number 18. You suddenly think of the mummified goblin hand.
He'll fucking pull it out of his pocket. He always still has that thing probably on him around this age. It's probably a thing that he's shown to fucking he's probably shown it to fucking Frang and maybe Mare at one point, but probably more have shown it to Frang, just being like, look at this cool thing I found.
Mare tried to buy it off of you.
No, it's mine.
A mummified goblin head is something rare to see. She didn't tell you why it was, and now that you look at the mummified goblin head now, there is a symbol at the center of its palm that you cannot fucking read because it's goblin.
He kind of looks just like,
it's a glowing symbol.
oh.
What do you do with the glowing symbol?
He'll like poke it. Like kind of just be like, is it like
Make a dexterity save as it turns into a crawling claw.
Oh god, a dexterity save. 12.
Well, you keep the thing as it starts scrambling about. It's like, ah! As you're screaming. It literally turned into a crawling claw when you touched the symbol, and it grabbed your finger, and you go, ah, panic! and you're holding it by the bone while the hand is holding your finger. It's like, oh god, you didn't want to drop it at all, in case it escaped.
He'll try and like press that spot again to get it to fucking stop or something if he can still see it or not.
The symbol disappeared from the hand as soon as you touched it.
Oh no.
Calder, do you look around the room or do you just keep your focus on the hand?
He'll like keep it held tight and kind of do like the thing, make sure nobody really noticed that he was like screaming.
See a goblin ghost on your bed.
Who are you?
Speaks goblin to you.
I don't speak that. Or he just be like, I don't know what you're saying.
Roll an intelligence check on goblins. Actually, nature check. Nature check. Probably better.
Nature. That's
nice. You know that goblins speak other languages, but you don't know which ones. Do you want to try every language in your library of languages?
So, does Undercommon sound more like what he was trying to say?
No, he's speaking straight up Goblin. I say the Goblins speak other languages besides Goblin.
Oh, to see if he... Okay, I didn't know if he was speaking in the thing that wasn't Goblin or anything. He'll try whatever he thinks would be, like, sounds kind of closest to what he was saying. Like, maybe it'll see if it was, like, kind of more... like an offshoot or something. He'll try like the Undercommon that he knows a bit that he was taught. And just be like, can you understand me now?
Hello.
Who are you? Okay, they're just like, okay, who are you? And why is your hand going crazy?
My name is the Great Gobbert.
God. The Great Gobbert. Okay.
I am great because all of my limbs live beyond myself. What you have just done right now is activate one of my limbs, and it's now forever in your care as your servant. He's being very flamboyant.
He'll kind of just be like, so if I put it down, it won't try to run away?
Well, first you have to command it. Right now it was surprised. Well, actually, more or less, I was surprised when you touched the symbol of activation. I'm very surprised that you knew what it did.
Do I have to speak in this tongue for it to understand me?
Yes. This tongue, Goblin, and Orcish.
I only know this out of those.
Okay. The Crawling Claw will be able to do whatever you want. Just note, it does still have some vitality left that can be very much depleted.
Will it go poof if it's depleted?
More or less, it'll just break when it's depleted. So be very careful with it. It only has 6 hit points.
That's better than a general peasant.
Though if you do give it enough time, it will regenerate over time. Though if you want it to regenerate faster, I suggest mending if you have it.
You kind of just be like, I don't know how to do that.
Hey. I also see that you have the light, water, and shade. Interesting. I would be careful using your light abilities near the hand, because it would probably destroy it.
He'll kind of look at him and tilt his head and just be like, huh?
He goes over to your forehead and taps you on the forehead. Lightning starts shooting around your eyes, and you don't feel pain. You don't even feel numb. You just see lightning come out of your eyes.
Whoa.
Once you figure out how to use it, be careful not to use it around the hand. Also, upon activation this, I must make a request of thee. Please, Should you wish to accept this task at hand, please reassemble my entire body. I miss feeling things.
He's gonna kind of look at him and just be like, "Were you a bad person?"
No, I did this to myself.
He kind of look and just go, "Why?"
Because I wanted something to live beyond me, and now I regret that choice.
Okay. I can try if I find any.
Good. I'll come by you again when you're near an area that I've been before.
I'm kind of looking at him. Do I have to be wearing this thing to be able to see that? Or see you?
Did you see me before when I tried to interact with you?
No.
Then probably yeah.
Okay. He'll kind of just be like, wait. And then he'll he'll ask Paul for or I'm assuming he has Paul probably out in just like the way to where he can just grab things from him right now.
Yep.
He'll grab out that finger. And he'll just be like, do you know what this is? Or does this look familiar to you?
The goblin disappears, the Calder disappears.
While holding the finger?
While you're holding the finger, give me 1 sec. You look around, Calder.
Hold up 1 sec. He'd probably start looking around, just be like, wait, where'd everybody go?
Calder, you look around and you see a very hollow-looking dwarf staring at you. He's decked out in full armor and has the same red glowing eyes as the other hollows you've seen. Turn that down just a little bit. And all it just does is gurgle at you. As he's staring at that dried finger.
Just be like, who are you?
The only response you get.
Just be like, and like tilt his head, just be like,
Okay.
he'll kind of say it in Dwarvish, just being like, maybe he didn't understand me, and just be like, who are you?
He continues the same sort of gurgle. Perception check, Calder.
Perception, you say?
Yep.
13.
13. You look at the dwarf's hand and you see that it's missing a finger.
Just be like, do you want this?
Insight check with disadvantage.
Okay.
9. You have no idea what he really wants. He's not staring at the finger, he's staring directly at you.
At me?
Yeah. Insight check once again. You start feeling a bit creeped out. 15. Realize that this thing is a hollow.
Mm-hmm.
You also don't know what the hollows did to your mother, and you don't know why they meant by like humanity and other stuff like that. It confuses you a little bit, as it may mean nothing good for you. What do you do with the finger?
It makes me wonder then if they can track this. Is there like a fireplace inside or like in my room or anything?
Yep.
He'll toss it in the fire.
Okay. Toss it in the fire and it disintegrates.
Is the
The
ghost
dwarf disappears. Ghost dwarf disappears, and the fucking goblin is on the ceiling like a fucking cat, scared out of its mind. What the hell was that?
It was a hollow.
Why was it looking at you with such hideous intent?
I don't know.
At least you burned the finger. Whether or not that was a good or bad thing is really up to fate at this point in time. As he's stabbed by a card in the forehead and falls unconscious onto your bed as a ghost.
What? Stabbed by a card?
Yep.
He'll look at the card, I guess, then.
It's a mag card again, so. You're doing something right, apparently.
Okay.
And the card dissipates. Why does everything hate me? Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go travel for a little bit. I'll come back to you when it's time, or when you find a place where our body part is stored, or whatever. Oh, he rubs his head and disappears in the spirit realm.
Okay.
Calder, I want you to roll a history check on that dwarf's face.
History. 10.
10. That face is very familiar to you. And it makes you sick thinking about it.
Does it kind of look like Frang?
Another history check. Because that 10 was not enough. As you start thinking harder and harder about 18.
18.
Yeah, very striking resemblance to Frang. If he had a beard.
Oh no, I know what happened to Papa. Oh, that's no good. Fuck, do I tell him? Oh no. Why would he have a reason to fucking believe me, though? Fuck. Fuck.
Welcome to the Silvered Edition.
Fuck. But that means so far, literally everything that I've seen in that thing is dead.
Hollow. Not technically dead, but he seems to have lost his sanity.
Well, I mean, because the goblin is technically dead.
Oh, you mean by like the necklace? Yeah, it allows you to see spirits.
Yeah. But then holding the goblin hand allowed me to see him and figure it out. But then holding the finger showed him.
Intelligence check? Or do you want to leave that up to chance now?
I'll try an intelligence check.
Okay.
Fuck.
15. You can retry with Arcana if you want. Because you have been studying nature science and stuff like that, so that does include magic.
Okay.
17. It seems like with stuff like the goblin and the finger, it seems like if you interact with certain items that invoke like undead stuff, like mummified goblin hand and dried finger of a hollow, it seems like you summon those spirits forth. I don't know how much I want to give away for the dried finger portion of that. I'm not going to give you anything for the dried finger. But the goblin hand, it seems to be, the more you interact with Gobbert's shit, the more he seems to be around you.
I mean, makes
Galabder follow Grey, so it makes sense why you can see their spirits.
sense. Yeah. Okay. Where is... I'll find Goblin Hand. What the fuck is that called again?
The Great Gobbert!
No, not Great Gobbert. The, what it's...
Crawling Claw.
Crawling Claw, okay. Because I'm pretty sure I remember that in fucking... I remember that being fucking... That was what, what's-his-face was in fucking TFS at the table. The fucking one hand.
I don't know what he named it.
I don't remember either.
Was it Lefty?
Yes, it was Lefty! That's what it was, because he always used him and had him under the fucking hat. I think it was Lefty. I might not be sure though. But yeah, that sounds right. Okay, Crawling Claw. 6 HP. And I'm assuming it follows the base thing of it can perform one action, then it goes alert.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want me to drop the Crawling Claw stats into your folder, I can. If it is available in this, which I'm not sure if it is. Oh, it is. There we
go. So you can just drop it into my character sheet then?
No, in your folder.
Oh, in the folder.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna make it available to you now.
Okay.
There you are. And save.
There we go. Okay.
It had 2 hit points on the regular. Bio-Nympho should explain most of it.
Yep. Has a claw attack with +3 to hit, reach of 5 feet, 1 target. It hits for 1d4 plus 1, bludgeoning or slashing damage, but that's the claw's choice. That's good. Okay.
I'm surprised this thing has immunity to turn undead.
Oh, wait, what the hell?
That's funny. Okay.
Wait, what the fuck is this? The Crawling Claw possesses little of intellect and memories of the things. Hate, jealousy. The spotted hand can then return to its former live, its undead flesh knitting to the living arm from which it was severed. Made whole again, the murderer acts as though the hand had never been severed and the ritual had never taken place. When the Crawling Claw separates again, the living body falls into a coma. Destroy the Crawling Claw while it is away from the body, kills the murderer, however, killing the murderer has no effect on the claw. A Crawling Claw does not require air, food, drink, or sleep. Oh wow, it's immune to turn undead. That is funny. That is fucking funny. Okay. Alright.
Right. Had your fun reading that?
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to know a little bit more about that, because they never really explained it too heavily, but damn, that is interesting. Okay.
Fucking Crawling Claw gave me the fucking quest already, without having to do much more research on stuff like that. Only there is no actual murderer. He did it to himself.
No.
Okay. Time fast forwards once again. It's now winter, full on. It snows. You guys end up celebrating the, what was it? Winter's Crown, or where are you? Yeah, Winter's Crown. You guys celebrate at home, exchanging gifts and other stuff. Calder, you end up getting a new hammer, which your current mimic hammer devours and becomes stronger. Please change his damage to add an extra 1 to his bite damage. So it's 1d4 plus 1.
You mean +2 then?
No, plus 1.
Oh. Well, because it already is +1.
Is
Oh,
it?
wait, no, that's my strength. Okay, and then +1. Got you.
+1 bite damage.
Okay.
He also takes on the embodiment of the characteristics of that hammer, so he's now golden. Yeah!
Okay.
And your parents are very surprised that the mimic can upgrade by eating other stuff like it. It's very interesting to them. And then during the Winter's Crown Festival stuff, you guys end up celebrating the New Year and all that. Bringing it in. You don't see much of Mare or Frang during the winter, because going outside and playing ain't that much of a thing since the winters get brutally cold up north.
Gotcha.
And then it comes around the spring once again, and you're now a year older. Let's see. And it's now time to start another school year of our stuff. Again, you learn more advanced languages, more advanced math stuff, more advanced science, and more history, of which I don't think you pay attention to.
He might start paying like a tiny bit more attention, not a crazy bit, after the whole seeing Grammy thing and having that necklace. He might pay a little bit more attention, but not like crazy fucking wanting to know.
All you just know is like all the cultures for the dwarves here in Matea and in Malin, how it's different from each other, from noble dwarven houses, or clans I mean, to the more peasantry type. And you guys here in Matea are more peasant, with the only ones that are like nobles being the Greer family, of which Fingal is from. Which kind of explains his more, I want to say, snobbish for a dwarf attitude here.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, when you go into the next school year, you don't see Fingal at all. And then eventually you find out you guys graduate primary from the age of 10, and then from there you guys pick careers and start doing stuff like that. Most of this year is mainly just a bunch of field trips to show you guys around the town of Matea and what they do. Despite the fact you've already explored most of the town, you still don't know what 100% they do. So, field trips. To start off your field trips for this year, you are taken to the mines to explore all about. You guys are actually taken deep into the mines and taken into like one of the stations that are in the mines where a bunch of dwarves are. You see a bunch of dwarves like that sleep there, all that thing. So it's like a mini house there. They have kitchen, all that shit. A lot of the dwarves who live there are the ones that end up going a little bit crazy with their mining stuff, and end up not having too much experience with socializing with other people because they're stuck down in the mines all day. You can see them hard at work, all about using water and some explosives here and there. Frang gets extremely curious, and I want to see how fucking stupid he is. That's 10.
Yeah, it's middle of the road.
Calder, you see Frang going for a stick of dynamite. What do you do?
I'm assuming I know. Do I know what the dynamite is, or do
No,
I
you
just, I don't know what it is, but does it look dangerous?
Why don't you roll a perception check?
Perception. 14.
Earlier in the day, you saw one of these dwarves throw that red stick into a hole, and you heard kaboom. So, kaboom stick, bad. Get him away from that.
He'll pretty much like try to pull. He'll pull him away from that, and just be like, "Hey, no, that stuff's dangerous."
Here, focus on this. Mare gives him a ruby. Frang looks at the shiny and sees like, another fire gem! Mare facepalms. This boy beat me at chess.
He looks at her just like, he beat me too.
You kind of curious where the heck Mare got a ruby from. Mare just points to a general spot over there. Just a random ruby that she quickly picked up with a tiny pickaxe she actually has in her person. A rare find, but none of the dwarves seem to care that much about the ruby. They're more focused on getting ores for the smiths. So you do see a bunch of like carbon being mined out, as well as iron, and a bunch of other types of metals: gold, silver, copper. Silver seems to be heavily desired by this town for some reason. You still don't know why. No one's explained the reason to you yet, and I don't think you've ever asked, have you?
If he would notice that it's more of a thing, possibly like if Owen ever said anything about it, he'd probably ask. But
Owen never said anything about it, but perception check once again.
perception.
20. You see that these fucking shut-in dwarves from society go ballistic when they find silver veins. You just hear them go, "Silver!" and then you hear the whole caves light up with joyous screams.
That'd probably be you. He'd ask either one of the adults that brought him there or whatever, or wait till he gets home to ask Owen about it.
Do you ask the adults there or ask parents?
He'll ask the adults there first and see if they give him an answer or not.
Oh, most of them just say that silver is one of the most the best stuff for fighting monsters and other things like that. Creatures of the night, creatures that deal in curses, creatures that have like long lived past their due. Do they? So in general, they're saying that silver is an effective weapon against monsters of all varieties.
Okay, he'd have a question, but he'd save that for when he gets home.
They also say the more silver, the better. Because silver does like erode away every time it's used in weaponry. It's also a soft metal.
Yeah.
You guys end up going through the caves and all that stuff, finding random things, and let you keep like souvenir gemstones here and there. This is a Calder. They give you cobalt. You have no idea what's cobalt, but it's nice. It's nice and pretty blue.
Hell yeah.
Prang somehow ends up with an emerald, and he's confused by why the fuck he has an emerald. All he knows is it's green, shiny. That's about it. And Mare, she gets a lump of coal. Why the fuck do you two get the expensive shit? Is her thought process? So she's glaring at both of you. Oh, here you can have mine. Frank just gives her the emerald. She looks at it, looks at him, gives him back the emerald. No, you keep it. Insight check if you want. Net 1. Oh, you notice that she's being a little bit more nicer to Frang. You have no idea why.
Strange.
You guys are then let out of the caves and end up going, or not the caves, but the mines, and end up heading towards the smithing forges and all that stuff. Frang is excited about all this stuff, and so is Mare, but Mare is more excited about the finished products compared to Frang, who was excited about the process. What about you, Calder? What are you excited by?
He'd probably be interested to see how either other smiths do it, or if they're going to go by and see if they see Owen or not. He would get excited if he saw him, but he'd also just be kind of interested to see what else they do compared to what he was always seeing.
So, Owen is more a weaponsmith. They take you to a general smithing area where they're making nails, horseshoes, and the other stuff like that, tools and stuff.
Gotcha.
Owen does dabble in that stuff, but he dabbles in more of the rarer minerals for like kitchen utensils and other stuff like that. Or he works on stainless steel stuff, depending on what the wife demands of him. Well, you go to see the process of making nails is actually intricate and all that stuff. And you did not know that nails required so much work to try and make.
Yeah.
Mara does explain to you that the bulk amount of nails is actually less than what you would expect it would be for the process it takes to make them. Which is confusing to you and kind of a little bit of upsetting. But it's just the way of life here for dwarves. Horseshoes are kind of cool to you because you see like some of the adult dwarves play games of horseshoes and all that stuff. So you think, yeah, this is something for games, then you realize they go on the bottom of your horse hooves.
Oh no.
As you see one dwarf grab the nails and hammer the nails into the horse's hoof with the horseshoe on.
Looks in slight horror.
Yeah. And then at one point, one of the dwarves ends up being a bit too handsy with one of the horse's legs, and you see him get horse kicked across the street, going, "Go!" You see him just get back up and bum rush the horse. And you see him wrestle the horse to the fucking ground and hammer on the horseshoe. He looks at all of the kids, looks at you, Calder, gives all of you a thumbs up as he smiles, and you see 3 teeth fall out of his mouth.
Oh no.
Don't worry, it'll grow back. He drinks a potion, and the teeth do grow back.
Oh. Looks again in slight horror.
You see the teeth disappear from the ground and reappear in his mouth. That's how potions work in D&D. It's weird.
He like has that fucking eye twitch. Just what the fuck?
Mara just grabs you by the shoulder. Don't worry about it, Caldy. That's just how potions work in this world.
That's horrifying.
Yes, it is. I want to vomit myself. Frang is like standing there and going, "Oh!" He's excited about that. He's like first time seeing, well, not first time, but seeing magic in action. He's wondering. He looks at his nose that it was broken before. He's like a year prior. He's wondering if that's the same thing that happened with his nose with the potion he drank.
Oh god.
He's actually filling up his nose now, trying to find the place where it mended. From there, you guys end up going into the mayor's office. Frang actually ends up falling asleep in one of the chairs as the mayor's explain like all the rules and litigation that goes on in this town of what he has to do for registering new horses for stuff to go into the city and all that, blah, blah, blah. The one that takes more interest in this is Mayor. Probably because as a merchant, you have to be aware of all these things. What about you, Calder? Do you pay attention, or do you end up like Frang and fall asleep?
He'd probably pay like slight attention because that's also a thing that I'm sure Owen deals with a little bit. So
All
he'd
right.
pay a little bit of attention.
Intelligence check, unfortunately.
Oh god.
This mayor guy is really boring when he speaks.
10.
You keep yourself awake forcefully as you start
Slightly
dazing off.
dozing.
Yeah, it's like dozing. It's like, why do you have to speak so dryly, Mayor? Why? Mayor's keeping awake, taking notes about random things. Well, not random things, but things that the mayor is talking about for like licenses, registration, all that bullshit. You managed to break through all of that, but my god, you spent more effort trying to keep awake than paying attention, unfortunately.
Sounds like a lot of my high school sometimes.
Yeah. From there, you go to that familiar blue hut that belonged to that explosive dwarf.
Oh no.
And before you have a chance to enter his hut, you see him go flying out of his door on fire. And then you see a headless horseman come out of his hut. Also on fire. From inside the hut, you hear the screaming, "This is not what I meant by being cool!"
What?
Everyone stares at that situation before them. The adults look at the headless horseman. The headless horseman body stares at all of you. The maid that went running out of his fucking house is currently cooling himself off in the well. And then you see him just climb out of the well. Firestones are never a good thing to practice with. And then you see the headless horseman fall dead.
What?
And turn into dust. Everyone stares at the dust horrified. The adults stare at the dust and just like look to the mage man and is like, "What are you doing?" "What does it look like I'm doing? I'm practicing magic," as he sparkles magic fake dust in the air. Calder, are you horrified or are you amazed?
I think it'd probably be that, like, kids, like, whoa. That's cool.
Rang's excited. Mare is very concerned about safety here. There's one wrong spell here, and everything is just gone, like it is as usual. You guys venture into his hut as the adults drag you in there against your wills. I'm just joking. But you guys do go inside and see everything he's working on. You see most of the magic ink that he actually has, and you see some of the magic etching picks. The reason why you can tell they're magic is because you're wearing that necklace and you see like spirit sparkles around them and all that stuff. It was like really nice and cool. Do you attempt to grab anything in the shack, or do you not trust anything in the shack? Mare's keeping a safe distance. Frang, on the other hand, how dumb is he? Not that dumb. He has seen this place blow up before. He's not going to risk anything either. But he still thinks everything is pretty cool because there's a bunch of weapons and other stuff etched with them, and you see a lot of prototype stuff as well. You also see a doll in the corner. Its eyes glow yellow.
Do I see a card anywhere?
No.
Okay.
Calder, you look away for a second, and you look back. Perception check if you wish. Let's see. When you look back, the doll's head went from like being slouched to just staring directly at you, Calder.
He's gonna like try. He's gonna like look around and see if anybody else noticed that.
No one else notices it.
He'll try and like walk over to it, I guess, if nobody's like impeding him. Or,
No
like,
one's
noticing
impeding.
him,
No one's impeding you. They're just explaining the concept of magic studies here. All of that. Well, meanwhile, the guy that blows up almost every single fucking day is the one explaining everything and is about to mix some potions before the adults stop him. So you go over to the corner, look at the doll. The doll is looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
It moves when you move. It's creepy. Well, it depends on your sense of creepiness. Are you creeped out by this doll staring at you?
Considering everything he's seen when he's used that fucking necklace, he would just be like, hello?
Henlo.
Who are you?
Henlo.
Hanlo?
Henlo. It seems to be repeating one word.
He'll kind of like look around and see if he sees like anything on it, like how he saw on the dried goblin hand.
There's no symbols or anything. It is just staring at you with glowing yellow eyes and says Henlo.
Is it like while he's like kind of looking over it, I'm assuming he'd be like standing over the thing, is like every time he's doing it, is like the head moving with it or just the eyes?
The head's moving with it. Storybook check. Please roll a history check. You recall things about glowing yellow eyes. Usually pertains to curses, like it does for lycanthropes. Do you want to roll an insight check on the doll?
Yeah. 9.
It's saying Henlo in the most mundane fashion ever. That you do feel a tinge of sadness around this thing. Also, the doll is the size of you.
Jesus.
Mayor comes by and says, "What you doing, Calder?"
He's gonna kind of just be startled a little bit. Looking at this doll.
The doll's eyes have stopped glowing and it stopped saying Henlo.
What?
Mayor looks at the doll. I don't understand what's so curious about it. It just looks like a plain prototype doll.
He'll kind of just be like, "Did you not see its glowing eyes?"
Its eyes glowed? She looks at the eyes. That's weird, because its eyes are beads. They shouldn't be glowing. Are you okay, Calder? Or she looks at you.
He's just gonna be like, "Yeah." And kind of just thinking to himself, just be like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, they're leaving, Mayor says as the entire crowd start moving on. Come on, let's go, otherwise we're gonna be left behind again.
He'll start following, but before he fully leaves, is the one dwarf still in there mixing things?
The one dwarf left with the rest of the crowd as he's being forced out of the freaking hut before he blows up everybody.
Oh, okay.
This is my workshop! No, it's not for today! As you see the adults pushing him out.
He'll want to possibly, if they're going to like a new place or something, he'll kind of want to see if he can talk to him really fast.
The dwarf?
Yeah.
The dwarf is tied to a chair outside of his own house, so you have about a good minute before everyone leaves you behind.
Okay. We'll kind of look at him and just be like, "What's with the doll that's in there?"
Charisma check, Calder. 4. Oh, it's nothing you need to worry yourself about, kid. It's my issue to deal with.
He'll kind of look at him and just be like, "But its eyes were glowing."
Intimidation check, Calder. By accident.
12.
12. How scared is he? You see, like, beads of sweat start forming around him. So you saw that. Okay. Did you hear it say anything?
It said hello.
That's it.
Yeah, that it just kept repeating it to me.
Okay.
Nobody
Okay.
else seemed to see it, but I did.
Yeah, okay. Keep that a secret. Keep that a secret. Don't tell anybody about it. Keep it a secret. Can you do that for me, little boy? Little human boy.
Yeah?
Okay. Again, it's my problem to deal with. You shouldn't really worry about it. But all I can tell you is that it has something to deal with a curse. And there's nothing that you can help with. At least not yet. I'm currently making an effort to try and reverse it. But, not as easy as you would think. Now, if you would, can you please free me from my bindings?
Is the rest of the class walking away, pretty much?
Yeah.
Does it look like a knot that he could undo?
You have your letter opener.
Well, that's why I'm asking, is if it looks like something I could undo, or if I have to grab the letter opener from Paul.
Do you want to look and make an intelligence check to see if you can undo it?
Yeah, he'll try that first, just to see if he can or not. 16?
16. Yeah, you can undo the knot pretty easily just by pulling one of the threads up.
Okay, yeah, he'll do that then for him.
Okay. You hear him say, "Freedom!" Thank you, Kitty. Pats you on the head and runs back into the shop.
Okay.
You can Calder, make one perception check, please. Are you joking me? You're hearing... You feel like you're hearing things now, Calder, as the phrase "hello" occurs one time behind your back. You freak out just a little bit as you stare back, and you assume it's in your head. That same feeling of sadness is still there. But it's... Unfortunately, there's no card. Meaning you probably can't be here. Or that. Meaning you probably won't be able to help here at all. As it's not your fate. We're gonna do 2 more scenes, and I think that's gonna be it for tonight. And my god, we still have 9. Wait, what is it? We still have 5 after that. Not scenes, pages.
Jesus.
Yeah. You move on with the rest of the class and go into the tanning stalls. And you see something very familiar to your Calder. Bear traps.
Mm.
And you see a person that's also very familiar. Who never saw your face, but is very familiar. You see Mountain Lion Dude.
I thought he was a...
Ogre is a
Oh,
mountain
no.
lion, so...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You see that his eyes glow yellow as well.
Okay. Why the fuck is he here?
You see him over here with some of the other hunters, like human hunters that don't have the glowing eye and all that other stuff. You see him like talking strategy and all that stuff, talking like maintenance plans and all that stuff, showing the students all the things that he does with the bear traps and other things as well, like wire traps and all that stuff. Do you wish to learn from this man or no? Are you too paranoid?
Oh, God. He'll stay and he'll listen, but he'll like half pay attention.
Okay. He starts like going over the process of like how to maintain traps and other things. Then you lose like focus halfway through when you see the wolf lady appear before you.
Oh no.
She sniffs the back of your head. Huh, you smell nicer.
Just all the hairs on his fucking arms are standing up on his fucking neck. He's just like, fuck.
Do you turn around to face her, or do you freeze in place?
Well, the freezing in place didn't seem to work before. He'll turn around.
You turn around and see those very big yellow eyes. She's a very pretty lady, but also very fucking intimidating as shade goes over her eyes as she's staring at you with a Cheshire smile. How you been, little Calder?
Fine.
May I ask you this one question?
Sure.
What are you doing here by yourself? Where's dear old mama?
She's gone.
Roll a charisma check, please. 17. Okay. Sympathy check. That smile fades away into something more sympathetic. Oh. I'm sorry. I did not mean to upset you. I was unaware.
He'll kind of just be like, you didn't do it.
No, we didn't. But still, I do not like to upset children when they are our future. As she stares at the cougar man, who is now looking back at her very nervously. And then she looks back to you, Calder. You seem to be in better shape, you seem to be wearing better gear, you seem to smell a lot nicer, though you do have the faint scent of horse on you.
I have to clean the stables once a day.
She spouts. Clean stables. Well, at least you're doing chores. At least you're being a good boy instead of the naughty little boy you were when I met you earlier.
He kind of just doesn't react to that.
She pats you on the head. If in the future you decide to be a hunter for your little town here, don't hesitate to call upon us. We're traveling hunters of sort, but we more or less cover the whole region. So if you're ever in need of tips and other stuff for hunting big game or small game, we're around. And my name's Lucy, by the way. Good luck, Calder. I hope you do well in the future. As she waves you off and then goes over to the cougar man and starts teaching the other kids about the other traps and stuff. And she also has brought back a deer. And then the teachers explain to all the students that these people are lichens.
Okay.
And then they transform into their animal forms before the kids. Not the hybrid monster forms, just full on animal forms, and everyone's like looking at it so cool. And Mayor is kind of freaked out by the transformation. Frang, on the other hand, is actually excited by it. He's like, cool, cool, cool. But then the teachers explain that the process of lycanthropy and the fact that it's a type of curse, but it's a curse that these people have learned to live with and control. So that puts any hope from Frang of becoming a lycan just like them to a damper, because they don't want to curse any more people. So
he'll kind of with that whole thing of when that happened, he just kind of does he shudders and just looks away when it happens.
Okay. And that concludes the tanning stall stuff. You guys end up moving on. Lucy does wave bye to you. What about you, Calder? Do you wave back, or...?
He'll do a hesitant, kind of scared child, kind of just wave.
Insight check, please. That one. That first encounter left too much of an impression on you.
Yeah.
She does seem more sympathetic, but she's still a scary lady. Meanwhile, Cougar Man is staring at the whole children, confused as shit, looking towards you, looking towards her, wondering what the fuck? Because he never saw you ever.
No.
He smelt your dirty form, but never smelt you thoroughly.
No.
And last but not least, you guys make your way to the Brawlers area, where you see a human guy wrestling dwarves to the ground using different combative techniques and using weapon techniques as well to get an edge on each and every one. So you see him holding a wooden sword and other types of stuff that represent mauls, morning stars, and all that stuff against dwarves that are using the same thing, except the dwarves are getting their asses handed to them because they're just flailing about while this guy's using skill to take them down. Rank seems to be interested in all this. Mara is also interested in this, mainly just because of brawlers and making money off of brawlers and fight pits and stuff like that. What about you, Calder? You take interest in the fighting stuff or no?
He would take a bit interest.
As you see the human guy just start waving his wooden sword around, you see him do a bunch of fun parries and other things. And then you see him switch to a hammer. And you see him use that hammer against a dwarf with a shield. And you see the hammer break through the shield, and the dwarf is like, "What the?" and is then punched in the face by the man's fist.
He'll definitely be paying more attention to that part too.
All the dwarfs cheer as that dwarf gets punched in the face, and that dwarf that gets punched in the face is like, "Try that again, mother!" And he's punched in the balls. Why? As he falls to the ground. And then the guy turns to all of you. Lesson 1 in fighting, ladies and boys.
Ladies and boys.
He just realized that he's looking at a crowd of kids instead of adults. Let me reiterate this. Boys and girls, is that there's no rules in fighting, so anything can go. Cheap shots like that are always allowed. Especially when it's life and death. The man then just continues on about different fighting techniques and the ways to use weapons and all that stuff. And the reason why he loves this town, because they make weapons and all that stuff, and that can be used for a lot of offense and defensive stuff. Nothing really else interesting happens in the Brawlers field. other than you seeing multiple dwarves get their asses handed to them. And they don't seem upset about it. They just mumble under their breath. They say, "See how you fucking deal with this next time." Not ashamedly, they're just like raring to go again for another round, but they realize it's starting to get fucking late. Time to go home. Drink. Forget the pain.
Forget the pain.
And that concludes your field trip for the day. You then go back home. Inverse wisdom save, please.
4.
Go back home. You try to sleep. About the sadness you feel from that little doll, and the sadness you felt from conversing with Lucy, eats away at your psyche right now. It's hard for you to go to sleep now, but you do so. And when you go into the world of dreams, you see that golden door once again.
He'll see if he can go towards it this time.
You do. Put your hand on the door.
Yeah.
You can also, you're satisfied that you can finally read the letters. M-A-G.
Yeah. M-A-G. I can read it.
And you open the door. Push it open.
Yeah.
You push it open. And you see that same hollow dwarf come bum rushing your ass. And just before he strikes you with his hammer, you see a card with a skull and crossbones on it. And when it flips to reveal its underside, or its face card, or face side, it says victory or death. And we end our session there.
Fuck.
Excited or concerned?
I've got. Oh no. I have to kill Frank's dad. Shit. That is not what I was expecting. The fuck?
So, are you satisfied with the amount of mystery about, or is it a bit too in your face?
I am having a blast. I'm
Okay.
so fucking curious about that fucking doll now, and now fucking. Oh.
It's like I made the solo campaign for you based on your specifications for stuff that you wanted. You wanted mystery and all that stuff. You wanted a town. There's going to be interesting shit in your town. Most of the stuff that you cannot explore yet, or probably never will get to explore, because you chose, you know what.
Yeah.
Are you interested? Are you like interested in the lycanthrope story, or are you not interested in that one at all?
I mean, he's more like, why the fuck are they here? They shouldn't be here. No, no. I don't need them knowing where I live. I got in trouble last time when you fucking came to my house. And then after that, all that happened was bad. It's fucking ill omen.
Well, they kind of actually kind of tracked with the bad tree.
Yeah, that's why it's like, why? Fuck.
You excited for the victory or death thing?
Fuck. I'm gonna try. Shit.
The fact that we're still not done with this kind of annoys me, but we're doing this at a decent pace. You okay with how we're doing the pacing, or is it a bit too fast still?
No, it's good.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure. I know it started out a bit jittery, but that's just me trying to read in the fucking dark.
You're good.
I'm just hoping that Omni will enjoy his stuff. I'm also hoping that we can at least try to get Wade stuff done. The fucking satellite internet was a pain in the butt to try and deal with.
Yeah.
And then waiting for his audio to fucking upload was the worst of it, because it literally took an hour and a half
Jesus.
for 38 minutes.
What the fuck?
That was already compressed.
What the fuck?
At least I think he compressed it. Actually, wait, no. He just uploaded it raw. From my memory. You uploaded it raw, no wonder. It took forever.
Yeah.
He also asked me how to compress stuff. So, yeah, that's another thing we have to deal with. Alright, so this concludes the recording. Stopping now.
Pause it just to make sure nothing crazy happens, because that seemed to work last time.
Save project as
Now
TSE
it's stop.
Calder 3.
I'm gonna have to give it a minute because now it's not responding.
I feel like you need a new computer.
Recorded audio was lost at the labeled locations. Possible causes of application competing with a test. Okay. What's that
Export.
even mean?
Save. Save. Okay. 41 seconds, Jesus.
The marked location.
Oh yeah, and then good night to everyone who's watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, even though there wasn't any combat in, but don't worry, there will be some soon.